Hello Gems, Leah from Red Emerald Yoga. Today we're here with Lorriane Anderson's Witching Hour Oracle. This is going to be an unboxing and review. So let's open it up. This is already out of the shrink wrapped because this was a signed copy. So the author had to take it out of the shrink wrap in order to sign it. So let's take a look at the book. This is a glossy book. The cover art's really pretty. And it looks like we're going to get to have a color book. So it goes into the introduction, how to use the cards, you are the magic, and then the meaning of the cards. The idea for this oracle deck came to me in a time of extreme transition, the initiation. So many amazing things were happening for me. Opportunities which had seemed light years away suddenly fell into my lap, the invitation. New levels of awareness started shifting for me, and I began to take ownership of goals I've set and achieved instead of glossing over them modestly. I started to embrace my power. I started to wear it like a second skin. I started to speak up for my needs, and I learned to say no. Salt. At the same time, however, many things were being stripped away from me. For the first time in nearly a decade, I questioned my spiritual beliefs. Despite seeing the evidence of my manifestations, I had so many projects in the works, but they wouldn't bear fruit for at least a couple of years. The forests. In the meantime, I'd taken on heavy financial responsibilities with increased investment in my business, spirit element as well as in personal matters. So much came in, but it felt like even more went out. To say I was stressed is a gross understatement. It was clear that if something didn't change soon, I'd be heading towards some potentially devastating consequences. The flames. Besides the financial stress, the universe saw fit to bring many people from my past back into my life. Forgotten ghosts. Some turned out to be beautiful blessings and a reconnection with the kindred spirits, Coven, while others forced me to examine the ways I was not living authentically. Midnight Moth. And to see that I was letting other people hurt me and put me down, the witch hunter. I came to realize everything started to fall apart because my faith and my spirituality began to wane. I put material pursuits above everything else, bewitched. And so I'm wondering if these are like the cards, like she's naming all of this stuff, like the journey on the cards. Let's see. There's Coven. Bewitched. I don't think so. Mud and Moss, let's see. No. Okay. I'm inventing stories. Okay, so let's see. And forgot to lean into the things that inspire me. Flying ointment. My self-care practice, bathing in the river, had become a joke, which became overwhelmingly clear when I suddenly realized I was spending my self-care bath reading over business plans I'd laminated to keep them from getting wet. I hadn't prioritized my spiritual practice, and I needed a reset. Moonwater. I found myself in one of the darkest places I've been in for a long time. Mud and Moss. I had not dived into my shadow for many years, but suddenly found myself back in that space of learning to trust my inner vision when there wasn't any light to guide me. Knowing. So I dug deeper into my spiritual practice. The spirits. Instead of pulling away as I might have many years before, I asked for guidance and for my ancestors to show me what I needed to know. The blood trail. The answer I received was to start at the beginning. So I did. I went back to the basics. I ripped apart my practice and stripped it down to the bare minimum and the essence of what I truly needed to find myself again. The elements. I disconnected from all the noise of everyone else around me, solitary witch, and remembered all the ways spirituality had saved me before and why I do this work to begin with. I recommitted to my spiritual beliefs, the sacred vows. It took a little while, but eventually things started to turn around, the seasons of the witch, and I began to surrender to spirit. The spell is cast. Then the ideas started to flow for this deck. I'll be honest, I had no idea what this deck was for at first, just that I had to write it, so I took the first step, the High Priestess. What I discovered was a deck to help me and others find our way in times of spiritual crisis. I'm writing my story because I want to show you the truth of being spiritually led. It isn't always about seeing mega manifestations, the witching hour. And sometimes getting exactly what you want has a way of showing you what you need, which is brew. I needed to get clear, Witch of the Woods, about who I was becoming before I could move forward. Enter at your own risk. It can be such a challenge to see the signs, the hanging bones needed to find fulfillment and purpose, and to keep going in a world full of social pressure, prying eyes. And you may feel as if a life full of joy, abundance, and magical manifestations, as above, so below, is only available to a lucky few. Secret trail. But if you are reading this now, it means you are one step closer to releasing what's holding you back. Broken branch. And finding the answers needed to raise your vibrations. Cast the circle. Nourish your soul, witching herbs, and unlock your greatest potential with the help of the unlimited intelligence of the spiritual realm. Each card in this deck represents a step on this journey back to your truest self, deep being. I hope these cards will support you to find the beauty in the ugliness, feeding crows, heal the things that are holding you back, poison thorn, and rediscover pleasure and joy in life. Dance. Lorriane Anderson. So it says how to use the cards, how to pull them. The only right way to read these cards is the one that feels most aligned for you. However, traditionally a card spread is used. Okay, so she does include examples of spreads for this deck. So it's not going to be just like a single card only type of deck. She has not included reversals, except for a couple of cards that felt like they had a little more to say. Companion cards. She found her way to the Line Strider Tarot. The guidebook that accompanies this deck is still one of the best she's seen. So I guess she recommends the Line Strider Tarot specifically for use with this deck. So we have You Are the Magic, Interview Your Deck Spread, 3 card spreads, and then she gives some suggested questions. Bathing in the River, Finding Your Coven, Phases of the Moon, The Elements, The Forest Spread, Book of Spells, As Above, So Below. One thing I want to point out about this author, she always gives an abundance of spreads, and I really like that. And then she goes into the cards. Okay, so let's check out the cards. Let's move this out of the way. This is that little thing from Rockpool, the little insert. All right, so we just got, oh, I didn't show you the inside. On both of them, it's just like this really, it looks more pale on my camera. I don't know if when I do the final version, but it looks a little bit brighter than it does to me on my monitor in the preview. So, and then we have, so these are not gilded, but they are edged. So it's the same yellow edging, which is really pretty. So let's get it out of this shrink wrap. I'm going to adjust my camera because it keeps like trying to autofocus. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, so Just looking for a weak spot in the shrink wrap so I can safely get these out. I want to point out that I have a love-hate relationship with rock pool. I really like the quality of the deck. The printing is amazing. The boxes are really nice. The cards are really nice, except for their gilded edges, like their bling bling gilding. And I also don't like their corners. And I want to say that these corners, I'm trying to get this out because I'm really excited. These corners are actually round. They're not roundish, which is something that I have brought up to Rock Pool in the past. I was telling them, if you could make your decks feel good in the hands, get your corners round, oh my God, that would like really set you apart from other publishers. And like the bands, like what is going on with those bands? I was telling them, like, they keep damaging the cards, and then it sucks buying a brand new deck that's really nice and then to have it damaged right out of the box. So they got rid of the band, they put it in shrink wrap. The corner is actually round. It's not roundish on all four sides. Yay! And there's no bling bling gilding, which is causing lifting on any of the corners. These feel amazing, and they're gonna feel really good to shuffle. So I'm really excited. Okay, so let's take a look at my list because I have a checklist here. Let's see. So the packaging looks ease of opening and functionality. That was really good. And I loved that they did the shrink wrap instead of that stupid little band to damage the card. So I'm over the moon happy about that. I like the durability and the size of the box. I think the guidebook size is nice. I like the cover. It's really pretty, and I like that it's in color. And I love that she has put so many spreads in the book. That makes it really fun to use. Let's check out the smell. The smell is pleasant. It's a little inky, but it just smells like a new book. I like the font size. The font size is really easy to read, and I like the contrast of all the text. They didn't go with any like creative colors or gradients in the text, so everything is crisp and easy to read. We'll get into the descriptions later. Let's see. So now the cutting. Let's check out the cutting on the cards. The cutting feels really good, and I'm so happy that it's not roundish. That's like, it's not a deal breaker for me, but it's kind of a pet peeve. Like, if you're going to do it round, just do it round, you know, not roundish. It is a glossy finish. With that yellow painted edge, which is really cool because I think that this will last longer than the bling bling gilding. This probably will get fingerprints a little bit, so if you have sweaty hands, it's probably something to pay attention to. I'm trying to put some fingerprints on there and see. I'm not seeing any on camera or to my naked eye, but we'll see as we continue. Okay, let's check it out. So we have knowing, take the first step. That's really pretty. I like how it's like a little light and she's like exploring it, and like, is she gonna like take that in? Is she gonna like send that out into the world? And I feel like her hair is kind of like a wick, you know, and it's like her antenna into the universe. That's what I always say about my hair. Solitary witch. Heal yourself first. Yes, you can't help anybody unless you help yourself first. It's like in the airplane where they say you have to put on your oxygen mask first before you go to help anybody else. Feeding crows, transformation. I love it. Familiar, deep bonds. The invitation, say yes. This reminds me of something that I'm always telling to people. Like when people are having doubt or they're feeling small, like, oh, I could never do that. And I'm always telling them, this is your personal invitation from the universe. Like it doesn't get much more clear than that. And that's literally what it looks like. The witching hour, favorable circumstances. Cloak and dagger, deception. Oh, I didn't look at the other cards. I hope I wasn't glaring them out. I was just so sucked into it and excited. I was just looking at the cards. I was not checking my monitor. The forests, seeing the bigger picture. Secret trail, ascension. The hanging bones, seeing the signs. Enter at your own risk. Pause. I really like these cards. These cards would be really easy to just like read intuitively. The elements, back to basics. I don't know if you can hear my dog snoring. He sounds so funny. The initiation, a sacred test. High priestess, leadership. I'm going to try to glare this card out. Let's see, because this one's dark. The sacred vows, commitment. Wow. Yeah, you can actually read that if you try. I don't know about you on the monitor, but like if you have the card in person, let's see if I can get it to. So I'm intentionally trying to glare this out. I'm not getting a full glare, but there is some light glare. So if you're doing video or photo readings, the photo might be an issue, but the video, like, it seems pretty easy to work with for the video. Prying eyes. Someone has their eyes on you. Coven. Soul family. Cast the circle. Raising vibrations. The flames. Transformation. Dance. Freedom. Flying ointment. Let loose. Book of spells. Learn. Oh wait, I think I skipped one. Okay. The spirits. Respecting spirit. Forgotten ghosts. Reunion. Mud and moss. Stagnation. Witch's brew. Seek alternative solutions. Witching herbs. Nourishment. Seasons of the witch. Honoring cycles. Broken branch. Heartache. Yeah, I think of the things in the guidebook, a lot of them were about the cards. Yeah, Moon, Water, Broken Branch, Seasons of the Witch, Mud and Moss. I don't remember everything, but yeah, As Above, So Below. Yeah, okay. Thought so. The spell is cast. Let go. Invocations. The power of words. Moon, Water, Reset. Poison Thorn. Low vibrations. Ooh. Some of these cards are a lot prettier than others. I kind of wish it was like more like one just cohesive theme, but it's okay. The Witch Hunter, Danger. Bewitched, you're under a spell. Bathing in the river, self-care. Crossing the veil, mourning. Witch of the woods, retreat. Midnight moth, distraction. As above, so below, manifestation. Salt, boundaries. To the grave, secrets. The blood trail, magnificence. Deep being, self-love and acceptance. That one's really pretty. I don't know if that's my favorite card. Let's see. That one might be. I'm going to give the cards a quick sniff before I continue and try to find my favorite card. They smell inky, but they're sweet. There's a sweetness to it. Kind of weird. In a good way. I don't know, I really like salt. Oh, I like this one. Here we go. Let's see. Ooh, I like that one. I like Moon, Water. I like this one too. Okay, I'm like moving. Let's see. The spell is cast. Broken Branch. Okay, I actually have a lot of favorites. Okay, let's see which one it is. Okay, let's start weeding out some of these so we can make room. Let's see. I do want to say that I noticed like a little thing here. I don't know if that's picking up on camera. It doesn't look like it. Can you see that? It's in the cutting. There it is. Like the die wasn't completely sharp. And it kind of, but it's not very noticeable, but it is there. So I'm just pointing it out because it's there. I still really like this deck. I actually like this deck better than the Seasons of the Witch decks that I have, because this one has better corners and the edging is better. I love the color of the bling bling gilding on the Seasons of the Witch, but I like the edging that it doesn't lift on this one. It feels so much better in the hands. Just my personal opinion. This is tough. I really like this one, but I don't think it's going to be my favorite. And I really like these two, but I think these are not going to be my favorite. All right, final 7. Let's see. As far as the non-people one, I really like this one with the moon. And then I'm going to pick out of cartoony people. I like this one, As Above, So Below, out of the cartoony people. And then, let's see. Out of these different style cartoony people, I'll pick I really like this one because like that's literally what I say, invitation from the universe, but I actually have a crow friend. And then I love wolves, and I just think this card is so beautiful. I love books. And oh, what is she holding? Candles? Is she holding candles or incense or something? Oh, I don't know. I think I really like what she's doing. But But does she stack up against these three? Or two? Let's see. No. I think I'm going to go with Moon Water as my favorite. Okay, so let's just set this over here for now. Let's get the book and I will read my favorite card. Card 32. So these are not in alphabetical order, these cards. Let's see. Moon Water, page 88. The keywords for this card are clearing, reset, renew, start from the beginning, and reflection. Tarot. Oh, there's a tarot companion. 4 of Swords. Okay, I could see that. The resting and realigning your energies. Moon water is made by placing a jar or jug of water where it will capture the moon's rays overnight and be charged by the moon's energy. Crystals or herbs can be added to the water. Just if you're using crystals, make sure that they're safe to put in water and to be ingested, and that they also won't dissolve. Some crystals can leach things that you don't want into the water. It can be used in sprays, added to a bath, or used in rituals and spells to infuse your workings with moon energy. The most popular phase for making moon water is the full moon because of its clearing and renewing properties. The full moon brings about clarity and illumination and marks the beginning of the waning phases of the moon, during which you are encouraged to reflect and find more rest and nourishment. The glow of moon water has come into your reading to encourage you to take time to reset and perhaps to start again once your soul is refreshed. You are entering a period of pause and repose. Now is not a good time to start anything new. Instead, focus on self-care and conserving your energy. You will be grateful for this time later when you enter a new cycle of action and creativity that may not allow for much downtime. Remember that every period of action needs a complementary period of stillness. It is in the slowness that your needs are revealed and you can find clarity about your next steps. The more literal guidance of this card is to do some physical cleansing with the element of your choice. Smoke, fire, earth, and of course moon water are all excellent ways to clear stagnant energy and renew the spirit. It has companion cards. I'm probably going to have to go back and read that. Companion cards, enter at your own risk, a clear no. This is not something you should move forward with. Oh, yeah, well, that makes sense. Okay, so I think it just has like sample card combinations. Invocations, a change in your perspective is needed. And bathing in the river, the message of self-care is amplified. Okay, yeah. Yeah, using the deck alone with its own like cards that are drawn with it, or you can use tarot cards with it, which is her recommended way, and also other oracle decks. Okay, one thing that's really cool about oracle readings is sometimes all of the description doesn't really make sense for every reading, but bits and pieces of the oracle description will make sense for different readings, kind of like what happens in tarot readings. Only in oracle, sometimes I like to read from the book because you never know which part of that card is going to make sense for them. That's not something I do with tarot. Let's see. I did my favorite card. Let's see if these cards are sticky or grippy in any way. If they're slippery, how do they feel? I got a little bit of a grip, not too much. These will have to be slightly broken in. Let's see what they sound like for an overhand shuffle. So you can tell they're kind of clumping a little bit. They just want to kind of stick. Let's see. So that's like about the size of the clump. I've definitely had clumpier decks for sure. This is not the clumpiest. Because this edging is better than most of Rockpool's decks, I might actually, yeah, I think that shuffles, well, that shuffles about the same. Let's see, let's try it again. That shuffles a lot better than the overhand. The thickness of the card feels good. I'm comfortable doing that. It's not actually a very thick deck. I mean, a thick card, but it feels good. It's a really nice cardstock without being overly chunky. The back is absolutely gorgeous. I'm so in love with the back. All right, so I do like that. Let me try it this way. It doesn't seem like this deck will take too long to break in. And if you do like shuffling your cards in this way, it should be okay. I feel pretty comfortable doing that. I probably don't want to bend it too much though. I'll probably do more of my shuffling from the side. Just like this. That's what feels good to me, or maybe like from a corner. Anyway, so there are 44 cards. Let's do the next thing on our list. Does it have a cohesive theme? I don't really think so. I think it's like, to me, it kind of looks like a couple of different themes. Like we got this guy wearing, I don't know, like some snazzy, fancy jacket with a vest and a hat. And then we got these, like with no people. Then these people just look like they're in normal clothes. Simple clothes with like no clothes. I don't know. It just kind of looks like these don't really fit in the same art style to me. And then we got the pasty witch or pasties. I don't know. It's just kind of, it kind of looks like it should be from 2, maybe 3 decks, but I'm not complaining. I'm not a big fan of this style here, like just the heads. There's another card with just heads. Yeah, this one, like that, those are not my favorite cards, just the heads. Some of them I really like. I kind of like the ones without people a little bit more. Or like maybe when the people are not so busy, they're just kind of like simple. I was really drawn to that card too. Yeah. This card, I like the people in this card. Whereas this one, not so much. And then we go from that to like fishnets. I don't know. It's just kind of all over the place for me. And then we have this one and like very old fashioned looking. It just doesn't really make sense to me. But I still like the deck. But a cohesive theme, I don't think it has a cohesive theme. The art quality, clear, blurry, or muted. I think everything looks really clear. These ones look like they're done in one style of art where some of them kind of look Photoshoppy to me. Let me see. Some of the faces have definition and some don't. For me, some of the people are just done in a weird style. That's not really my aesthetic of choice. Like the art style is a little strange. I think newbies could definitely use this deck because you have your guidebook and there's a lot of spreads in there. I'll keep it in the box stored in my tarot and oracle shelf. I'll leave a link where to purchase it if this is something that catches your eye. Who might like this deck? I think this is a good deck for anybody who is doing some deep internal questioning. If you are questioning your beliefs, if you are rediscovering who you are, if you are trying to overcome spiritual blocks, if you are manifesting, I think that this is a deck that you might enjoy. Who might not like it? People who don't like the word witch, people who are offended by nudity. There was that one on the broomstick with her pasties. This one here, undressed. People who don't like this art style, or yeah, people who might want like a lighter color theme, perhaps. But I think that a lot of people would find this deck useful. One thing I just want to point out, I just noticed it, I think because I was so excited to open it. This box is really buttery smooth. This box feels amazing. The whole thing. It just feels really good. And then it has like some spot glossing here. The yellow and the white. And then these little doodles right here, these are also spot glossed. Yeah, that feels really good in the hands. I'm going to get off of that. I'm going to just keep rubbing it. Let me see. Okay, so let's find a spread and let's do a sample reading to see how this deck reads. Let's see. Let's try this forest spread. Okay. So just move this over here. Just try to keep this open. Got my little paperweight. Okay. All right, let's give it a few shuffles and we are going to do, what is it called? The forest spread, for seeing the bigger picture. So this is a 5-card spread to help you understand where to put your focus when you're stuck and not sure what to do next. It's a great spread to do at the beginning of the day, quarterly, and anytime you need to revisit your goals. Okay, so card number 1, this is the distraction. What details are you too focused on that are getting in the way? Bewitched. You're under a spell. Zoomed in, what are some small details you've missed that need your attention? The sacred vows. So you can't pay attention to your sacred vows, the things that are sacred to you, your commitments, because you're literally bewitched and under a spell. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Card 3. Big picture. What you should be focusing on instead? The spell is cast. Let go. You should be focused on letting go. Probably the things that are distracting you. And then seeing the signs. How will you know when you're focused on the wrong thing in the future? I'm going to go back and read the descriptions of these so that way you can see. Let's see. How will you know when you're focused on the wrong thing in the future? By bathing in the river and taking time for self-care. Yes. Reflecting. I really find that I'm much more in tune with my intuition when I spend time in nature, especially time in water. Or even near water. Zoomed out, how can you reconnect to the bigger picture? The elements, by getting back to the basics. Okay, let's see. So let's go to the book and see how it reads. Card 35, Bewitched. You're under a spell. This can speak to obsession, addiction, conditioning, and the tarot companion that her inspiration was the devil. So temptation can feel a lot like being under a spell. You know you shouldn't do it, yet you can't help yourself, and you continue to make bad choices even when it doesn't feel good. You're ashamed, or you feel as though your power slips away with every act of self-sabotage. In a money reading, Bewitched appears when you are too focused on material pursuits or get-rich-quick schemes. You may be sacrificing your beliefs to reach goals of a certain status or level of achievement. However, continuing to do so will come at great personal cost. In a career reading, pulling this card is a clear sign that you're in a poor environment and giving far more than you're receiving. In a love reading, you may find yourself pursuing shallow people and relationships. It could be you have cut yourself off from discovering true, deep, meaningful connections, even though that is what you truly desire. In general, this card represents a victim mentality and a need to blame others for your choices. You can change things at any time you choose, but have not taken responsibility for your role in your circumstances. And then it gives a couple of companion cards and what that might mean if they come up together. So let's go on to the sacred vows. 15. I'm going to go back to the spread too. So the first card, that was distraction. What details are you too focused on that are getting in the way? Yeah. Things that you don't need to be paying attention to. Your vices. Desires of the flesh. Addictions. Yes, things that you know that are not serving you. And then card 2, zoomed in. Small details you've missed that need your attention because you're bewitched. Sacred vows. So the keywords are commitment, devotion, belief system, prayer. And the tarot companion card is justice. Mystics and witches are governed by higher laws. Spirits work through them, channeling love, healing, abundance, self-sovereignty, and compassion for humanity. It is these beliefs guiding the witch through life, and she is committed to honoring the task placed upon her shoulders. This card represents the driving beliefs behind your choices. What is your moral compass? What keeps you aligned to your soul's nature and gives you a bump when you're deviating from your path? What are you passionate about? What are you committed to? What moves you, moves through you, and inspires you? The sacred vows guides you to devote yourself to what brings you joy and pleasure, to do more of what excites you, embrace both the simple and complex joys in life, and allow the things that bring you rapture to be held in your life as sacred. Should this card happen to fall out of the deck and land in the reverse, or if you feel you are lacking an ethos to guide your path, it is an invitation to spend more time in prayer, connecting to the higher power that best supports your path. And then card 3 was the big picture, what you should be focusing on instead. The spell is cast, let go. Let's see, card 30. This card says surrender, let go, let the universe do its thing. The tarot companion for this card is the Star. There comes a point in every spell when you've done all you can do. You've cleared your space, focused your energy, said your invocation, and followed all of the necessary steps for sending your intention out into the universe. Now it's time to let go and let the universe work its magic. Surrender, trust, flow. This card comes to your reading when you are in your own way by holding on to expectations, trying to force or manipulate, obsessively seeking answers, or wishing to control your circumstances. You do not need to focus on a goal 24 hours a day for it to manifest. You don't need to say an affirmation 200 times a day for your intention to be heard. You don't have to make an endless array of vision boards or purchase every spiritual tool you can find to increase your magic. The universe doesn't need you to do anything but defer to the infinite intelligence of spirit and be ready to leap when your goal is presented to you. You are being called to find more peace and calm in your life, to have faith that all will be as it should. There's no room for the universe to surprise you with something better than you're imagining when you hold on too tightly to your idea of what something should be. What you have inquired about will unfold when the time is right. Pulling this card is also a message from Spirit requesting that you do not inquire about this situation again for a full moon cycle. I love that. I don't know if you've ever pulled cards for yourself repetitively, trying to get the answer that you desire, or if you've ever had a client come to you and want another reading like 2 days later, a week later, and it's like nothing's changed. You have to give it some time to unfold, to develop. Card 4 is seeing the signs. How will you know when you're focused on the wrong thing in the future? Card 36. Bathing in the river, self-care. The keywords are being present. Self-care, tending to your mind, body, and soul. And the tarot companion for this card is the Four of Swords. Four of Swords, I think that was the companion for the card that I selected, my favorite card. Okay, so it says self-care is its own kind of magic. A spell doesn't have to be elaborate to be effective, nor does it need to produce anything specific, like more money or a partner. Magic can be channeled on a cozy Saturday afternoon just by sitting in your favorite chair, next to your favorite window, with your favorite blanket, and your favorite tea or coffee in your favorite mug, with no other goal than to have a moment to yourself and connect to the present. These are the moments that refresh you and give you the strength to deal with some of life's more difficult challenges. And when bathing in the river flows into your reading, it's a big nudge from Spirit to make time for tending to your mind, body, and soul. You haven't been fully present in your life. Perhaps you have a spiritual practice, but it feels more like checking an item off a to-do list then a moment of bliss and ease. Maybe you take a warm bath, but spend that time reading over textbooks or office work you've brought home. Perhaps you have a healthy diet, but are inhaling food between appointments rather than savoring the taste and feeling the nourishment flowing through your body. Self-care isn't truly care if it feels more like a chore or something you're compounding with other things. Remember that you matter, and you're not just selfishly putting yourself first. You're taking care of yourself so that you'll be around and be present for all of life's precious little moments. First steps and birthday parties, time with friends, experiencing culture, and living rather than just getting through the day. I love it. I don't know if you have a morning ritual, but I do. I like to have a cup of coffee, and I like to either lie in bed as I'm drinking it or sit in my rocking chair, and my dog sits in her rocking chair. And we just leave the door open and we listen to the birds or the wind or the rain or whatever sounds are going on outside. And we just sit and enjoy each other's company as I enjoy my cup of coffee. I don't take phone calls during that time. I don't check my emails. I don't do anything of that sort. I just simply sit and be. I like to hold my cup in my two hands, and I'll smell it and I'll breathe in the aroma of the coffee. I'll feel the steam warming my face, and it's really magical. I call it a cup of love, but it can also be done with a cup of tea. Sometimes I'll do tea, but usually it's coffee. Okay, let's see. Card 5, zoomed out. How can you reconnect to the bigger picture? Card 12. The elements, back to basics. Let's see. The key words are back to basics, start from the beginning, reconnect with nature. Elemental magic. Oh, the tarot companion is the Hierophant. Elemental magic is one of the most natural spiritual practices you can embrace. The elements represent the basic building blocks of the earth and teach us the value of simple but powerful magic. Water Hierophant gives us life, but can also be deadly. Fire can be gentle, like the glow of a candle, yet it can also destroy. The earth is solid and strong, yet it can shake our lives and our foundations. We can't see air, yet it can whip into terrifying gales. The basics hold more value than we credit them with. When you are feeling lost, sometimes the best thing you can do is return to the beginning. Start over with the foundations that inspired you in the first place. Rediscover the magic of working with very little. Revisit the place of your first date when your relationship is rocky. Call up your friends if you've forgotten how to have fun. Go back to that very first spiritual practice that started your journey and taught you how to live a spiritual life. When you pull the Elements card, it is because there is more available to you than you realize. You don't need unlimited resources to make powerful moves. Learn to work with what you have and see the value of having limited options. It forces you to be resourceful and reminds you that sometimes the most valuable things can be found in the most basic undertakings. Should this card fall from the deck and land in the reversed position, the meaning becomes more literal, guiding you to limit your spiritual workings to just the elements. Experience them one at a time, rediscovering the magic of each. Take notice of the lessons learned from each, and reflect upon how these lessons are meaningful to your current situation. All right, so that concludes this sample reading. I think it's very applicable to pretty much anyone. I think this is a good reading for the Conscious Collective. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm going over my little cheat sheet here. Let me see if I missed anything. No, okay, I think I got it all. All right, so I will leave a link in the description if this is something that you want to pick up for yourself. Thank you for hanging out with me today. This was really fun. You can help support my channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And if there's a deck that you want me to review, please leave it in a comment below and I will try to get my hands on that deck. You can book a reading with me or come do yoga with me. I'd love to hang out with you. See you soon. Bye for now, gems.